All right, it's time to get started on a little bit of wiring in the living room. I've already got, as you can see right there, that's my wire coming up out of the basement that's going to tie into the panel. And I've got a 2-gang box here. It's going to be the control for the living room lights and a porch light that I still have to get ran. You can see here, got some of the wire already strung. A little bit as we just got a couple of boxes hung. We're gonna hang a couple more boxes here. You can see here we've got the new wire right here for the living room. I haven't decided if I'm gonna do just like a single light ceiling fan in here, if we're gonna do like pot lights maybe. So I've got one wire ran, and we can always, tie them all together. They're going to be the low wattage or the low power LEDs, and got all my holes drilled. Be able to run the wire. Trying to keep it far enough back so when we hang drywall, won't have any issues there. Do have a hole outside. I'm going to go ahead and put an outside receptacle. It's going to be watertight, so that way there's power on the front porch. Anybody that wants that. And I've got a couple of boxes here. We're going to go up and over the old fireplace, bring it back down. Have another box right in there, a receptacle box, and then it'll go make around the corner here. The old plug that's right there, that's going to be replaced with a new box, and that'll be the last plug in the living room. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 just here in the living room. So small room, but I want to make sure that there's never any cords that are crossing anything or in the way of anybody walking through a room. Don't want any tripping hazards, anything like that. So go ahead and get started on this. All right, just so everyone's aware what we're doing here, we're gonna have a 20 amp circuit for the living room. There's gonna be a 20 amp circuit for the smaller of the 2 bedrooms and a 20 amp for the larger bedroom. And essentially each room's gonna have its own circuit. So we're running 12-2 wire here. I'm not a licensed electrician, but since it is my house, I can run the wire. But I've got a buddy that's an electrician. It'll come by, it'll double check all the work that I've done, check all the breakers, because they have to have the arc fault GFCI breakers in it since it's new work. So he'll come by and double check all that work, and then I'll also have a city inspector that'll be double checking everything too. So if you can see here, we'll get quite a few wires ran. Now I just need to start tying in circuits. But everything will be checked by a licensed electrician and a city inspector to make sure that we're good to go and everything's safe. One thing that I've learned is before you start doing a lot of your wiring, make things a little bit quicker, you take some of your scrap pieces, go ahead and strip them. Be careful with the knife, obviously, but go ahead and strip them out. Oh, dropped one. Go ahead and throw all your scrap wire in your pouch here, then you've already got all your pigtails made up for whenever you tie your circuits together, your breakers together, your outlets together. And you've got all your pigtails. Nice little convenient bunch of them, handy and ready to go. Saves time, and since a lot of times you're doing the wiring on your own, makes it a lot quicker and simpler. You just have all your pigtails already cut, prepared, ready to go. And then I always save any extra ones that I have left, because you never know when you might need one. So they're always handy to have around. little trick is, guy showed me, if you're going to use a razor knife to take the sheathing off of the wire, make sure that you've got an old blade in there that's kind of dull, so that way you don't cut into the actual wire, it just cuts through the sheathing. Makes it easy to strip that way. All right, so we'll just take our strippers here. A little twist, pops right off. Actually, we may have to trim these down just a tad. Tack it up there. Take care of that right now. I really don't have to staple it again, but just to get it out of the way and make it handy here, what the staple is. Technically the hole is considered a fastener, but go ahead and throw a staple or two on there just to make it a little bit easier. Working with 12-2 is just a little bit more difficult than 14. It's just a little bit stiffer there. Pigtails here. A couple of them are close to the same size. Same thing here, we'll just strip those. Start off with our grounds first. First time I'm using that wire twisting tool. Might take a little bit of getting used to, but it seems like it might be pretty handy. Nice little twist there on there. Wire nut on there just to make sure we don't come loose.
Incoming call. Incoming.
Oh, didn't strip one. Okay, we'll do our neutrals next. Way. do too bad. Give it one more twist, make sure we're nice and tight. Chop off that little bit at the end. We got no copper exposed, so we really don't need to tape that off. Pretty good shape. Put our hook on here. We'll do our hot. Keep everything out of the way. A little bit of a trim there. Got this little jagged piece there. And just to be sure, I can see a little flash of copper there. Go ahead and throw a little bit of round or two of tape on there. Just to make sure we never have a problem. Just a little bend in there. There we go. All right, all the wiring's done. We're ready to get started on some insulation. Once we get everything cleaned up, got to get all the debris out of the way, make sure we get a nice clean work area. And we'll go ahead and get some insulation cut, get all the cavities filled, and get this room prepared to be drywalled next. Got the insulation just about completed in here. Got a couple odds and ends right around here, around the door. Don't want to insulate that yet because we're actually going to increase the opening for the door. But you can see there's a couple of places where there's seams. Some of the cavities here are odd size, 22 inches wide, 19, some are 11. So we got to kind of piece everything together. And then I'll tape everything up. That last little piece there, I'm not going to cut another full one yet. I'll just wait till we continue insulating in the house, find a little narrow piece, and we'll get that one up there. But this room's just about done. All the wiring's done. Now about 90% of the insulation's done. All the windows have spray foam around them. The fireplace, the old fireplace, is insulated. We opened it up. I think we might actually be able to open that up and put a mantle in there and at least have it as a showpiece. I don't know that the chimney is working function or condition, so we'll have to double check that. We might have a chimney sweep come out and take a look, because if it is, I think that'd be a good selling point. So if we can salvage it, we certainly will. Now that we've got the insulation done, the seams and the gaps between the pieces of insulation, I'm going to go ahead in this video here, you'll be able to see I seal those up. What I'm using is just a vapor barrier tape, just nothing more than essentially it looks like packing tape. It just happens to be red, but it makes a nice seal between the different panels of insulation. Make sure that we don't have any air coming through and that the panels hold together. And once we get the drywall and the vapor barrier up, it should be a nice solid tight room. Alright, everything's taped up. This last step may be completely unnecessary, given that there's going to be a vapor barrier over top of this as well, and it's going to be sealed. But, you know, just want to make sure that everything's insulated well, there's no gaps, we don't have any air coming in, because I want, you know, this to be a quality renovation for the next homeowner, and know that they're going to be paying less in utility bills and heating and cooling, and this will be a nice efficient house for them, and I'll be able to watch this on YouTube now and know that what they got was something that was done right and done with their best interest in mind. So if anybody knows for sure if this is unnecessary, please leave it a message below in the comments and let me know. I just felt like we needed to seal up all the gaps, so final look at it. Alright guys, I'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us for episode 7 of West Virginia Renovation. If you could, if you're not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. It really helps us out and helps the channel grow. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below. I'll be more than happy to answer anything that I can. And if there's any projects you'd like to see happen, just leave that in the comments below as well, and we'll try to get to it during this project. We still have a lot of work to go, and look for our next video coming up soon. Thanks.